just one more damage with the fast move. It's crazy. This day has been so exciting so far.
Yeah, it is definitely crazy, and I do hope after such a showcase of high-skilled, talented battlers that no one is never going to talk about Pokemon Go as a tap-tap game.
No, absolutely not. Those matches were so close. You know that the players, they also gave the insights in the interviews, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
You know how many thoughts they put into this.
And we are seeing here the two teams, one from Johnny Rechar on the left and Colin on the right. Definitely the Stunfisk is not Shadow.
I don't even know if that would be good.
It will definitely be good for sure.
Yeah?
It's already broken. If
True.
you can do 20% extra damage, you take out the
fair
Registeel instantly with
Fair
the EQ. So really going to be an interesting matchup. We see a Noctowl on both team. We see a Sableye on both team. We see a Lickitung on both team. We see a Medicham on both team. So we are going to focus on the only mon that is different between those two players. And that's Azumarill for Colin and Venusaur for let's move directly to the game and waddle it for Colin.
Absolutely, Noctowl is going to crush this matchup, and it's just going to basically stay in for a moment versus the Sableye, because Sableye can't really deal anything to the Noctowl, so this is not the best switch you want to do.
Yeah, you're totally right, and we have seen that so many times. You chip down and you swap, and here Johnny reading that, shielding to preserve the health of the Sableye, and now it's up to Colin.
This is important.
Will he shield the return? He doesn't shield the return.
Wow, and this dealt so much damage. This Noctowl is really important in this matchup. It is a perfect answer to the Venusaur.
Yeah, and you want to align that Noctowl on the Venusaur, but electing to take the damage, going into his own Sableye and build some energy could be also a good strategy.
I think it's crazy that both of these teams are almost completely the same. This seems to be maybe the most ideal lineup that you can bring to this tournament.
Yeah, it looks like I really like the Shadow Venusaur pick. To be honest, I was discussing with a lot of competitors before, telling them how this could be an interesting co-breaker, and we see that Shadow Venusaur lurking out, trying to go for that aggressive fine whip down, but the Sableye is going to reach a foul play.
This is going to deal a lot of damage. The shields are already gone for Johnny Rechar, Vine whipping even further beyond. So now we are seeing a switch into the Noctowl. The Noctowl immediately cues the Sky Attack, and this takes all the energy from this Venusaur.
Yeah,
this Venusaur has so much potential to deal damage.
Yeah, the Venusaur losing all his energy because of a small overtap there, and that could be costly for the game because Colin still has a shield and has switch advantage.
Wow, now we are seeing the Steel Trap mirror match, Stunfisk versus Stunfisk, mano a mano.
Yes, and Johnny is going straight for that Earthquake, and I like the play forcing the last shield and banking on the fact that he has a small energy advantage. Obviously, Colin with no shields into play is going to throw as well an Earthquake.
Yeah, and it is going to deal a lot of damage, almost immediately taking out the other Stunfisk, which will, before it falls, get to another Earthquake.
Move priority, and this Earthquake is going to take down that Stunfisk.
It absolutely will, and now the Noctowl is coming in against the Sableye. Noctowl will reach the Sky Attack before the Sableye gets to the foul play.
So clutch, the Noctowl winning that race to the charge move, taking down the Sableye, and now can he wing attack down before
this is getting really close, but Stunfisk falls and Noctowl wins the game for
Colin. Yeah, that was crazy. We were just talking earlier about how crazy those matchups are going.
Yeah.
We have just seen a Noctowl wing attacking down Galarian
basically
Stunfisk.
farming down the Galarian Stunfisk. This Noctowl did so much work in this matchup against every single Pokemon that Johnny brought.
Yeah, you're totally right. And we usually saw how they like to switch, they like to chip the safe swap before coming back in. But here Johnny shielding to preserve the health of the Sableye while he was like building some extra energy was a really good play.
Absolutely. So what do you think the players are going to swap out of their rosters into the bench and onto the playing field? What's going to happen here?
I mean, if I was Johnny, despite having the worst lead he could have, he still brought that game super close.
That is true.
So maybe he has his plan. He should stick to his plan. For Colin, it's more I'm going to. So he used that. How can I counter that, or how he's going to adapt as well? Because the pressure is on Johnny. Colin is like one game of securing a day 2.
That is true. So Johnny is leading again with the Shadow Venusaur. And I don't know if I like that, because in the last game, Shadow Venusaur did not really do a lot.
And here it comes against
there
the
we go
Noctowl.
again,
Let's see if he's going to play that differently.
Actually, Noctowl in the last game took out every single Pokemon.
Yeah, you're totally right. And this time going into G-Fisk rather than Sableye, but is going to be met by an Azumarill.
And this Azumarill is dealing so much damage with these bubbles. Not having a water charged move is, of course, sad, but
it really makes that matchup quite close. Obviously, as an Azumarill, you can tank 2 Earthquake if you want, but you are just going to do some neutral damage with that Ice Beam. Doesn't have stab, so it's not, let's say, per se a bad matchup for that Galarian Sunfisk.
that is true, even if you would think so, looking at the typings. Earthquake is going to come out here, and it is really close to knocking out the Azumarill. Azumarill actually kind of is comfortable at this HP, even getting to farm a little bit more energy. This is more than 1 Ice Beam.
Yeah, he has some energy, but now the Sableye might be able to farm it down. Reaching that Ice Beam is pretty clutch here.
Exactly. This is not going to force out. It is going to force out a shield. So maybe a little bit of a miscalculation on Johnny's side, because he thought this could have been a play rough.
Yeah, probably. And also, I mean, you know how Sableye is valuable for you, because that has to be your answer for that Noctowl.
That is true. Even though it is not the best answer, these Shadow Claws do not really do too much damage. So Noctowl is in there in the Shadow Venusaur, and this can't be a good matchup for Johnny. This is looking really bad for him.
And Colin is not messing around. He has the Sky Attack. He's going to throw that Sky Attack,
and
taking
he just
out.
lets it go immediately. I mean, it makes sense. You really need to have this shield on the Sableye, but does Sableye even beat Noctowl here?
That's going to be rough, because Colin still has 2 shields. So even if you land that return, still you need another charge move. And at this range, Sableye on Colin's side also has a bit of energy. So this is going to be rough for Johnny. Obviously, he's going to shield that Shadow Ball there, but will he shield the Noctowl? That's a good question here.
Oh, he does not even shield the Noctowl. I'm quite interested in why, because I think Noctowl could close this game out with another.
Yeah, but
Sky
he has a
Attack,
foul play ready. The foul play is going to be enough to take out the Sableye. So, and he's going to honestly win in good fashion with still
Colin
2
secures
shields.
day 2, winning this winner's final.
Yeah.
What a crazy game.
Amazing game, amazing play by Colin. Second time we're seeing Colin into action, always really dominating, really keeping his
Game
calm.
2 was really strong by Colin. Never looked like he was going to lose this game. This was so dominant.
Absolutely. Really, you look at his line of 3 and you have the impression is like above the shoulder of the opponent and just calling his line. That was amazing.
Colin actually just casually going through his entire opponent's team with his Noctowl in game 1, and then game 2, he even had like 1 shield left when he won. So this was absolutely dominant.
Yes, and you know what I like is really the call to bring back the Noctowl, because at that stage you are okay. I won. I really hard-wall him in the lead in game 1. Is probably maybe going to put the G-Fisk in the lead, or he's probably going back with the same line, and in the end, that was a good call.
He
And
might
we,
go and try it again. Oh,
yeah,
there is
we
the Dutch
see the
flag.
Dutch, and to be honest, Dutch people are really starting to be good
It's
here.
really strong. They are so good at Pokemon Go.
Colin is day 2, Inadequance is day 2, and we still have Tactical that is going
Yeah.
to play right after that, could also join a day 2. So almost half of the competitors could be Dutch in that day 2. So that's a pretty achievement.
That is really insane. Ik kom van de Netherlands, I think is what I'm trying to say.
Netherlands.
Ik
Yeah,
kom van
yeah,
de
yeah.
Netherlands.
Ik,
I really do not come from the Netherlands, to be correct here. However, this nation is really good at Pokemon Go.
It is, and you know, I was joking around with because Statistan just moved back to Rotterdam, and I was joking around, just telling that as of now, the Rotterdam city has amazing players. Statistan, Tactical, Inadequance. There is also Aoi that is not here, but that's an amazing